Hey, welcome back to PsychologyWorks. I'm Dr. Scott Greenaway, and today we're going to be talking about personality tests, assessing your own personality to kind of understand yourself a little bit better. A lot of people know about the Myers-Briggs and other personality tests, but one of the most common ones that's actually used in the field of clinical psychology is the five-factor model. And I'm going to show you the 5 factors. A lot of research has been done, and it's been shown that any personality test you do, even if it has 10 factors, there'll be like how much energy do you have? How much do you like being with people? And there'll be a whole list of these different categories that are human attributes, and that helps you to understand what your personality is. But what they found is all of these tests are actually measuring only 5 specific personality traits. Even though they call them different things or they ask lots of questions, it make it seem like there are more than that. What I want you to do is I want you to think of a scale from 0 to 10. We're going to go through each of these 5. Rate yourself on a scale from 0 to 10, how high you are on that category. And then in the end, you're going to understand yourself a little bit more. Or you might, for fun, think about somebody else and rate them, and then you'll get a little bit more of an understanding about what this person's personality is like. Now, if you look at these, you'll see that it spells ocean as you go down. That's purely coincidental, but it does work as a good mnemonic to remembering these things. So the first one, openness. Openness to new experiences. Now think about yourself. Some people like to visit new places. They want to try new foods. They want to meet new people, and they enjoy that. Other people are the opposite. They like their routine. They like the people they know. They don't want to meet anybody else. They don't want to try new things. They want to stick to their routine. And most people are somewhere in the middle. So a 10 would be extremely open. That's almost, that's your life, is trying new things, going new places, meeting new people. And a 0 would be extremely rigid. One thing to think about is that usually people at either end of this continuum will have some difficulties. What is generally regarded as the ideal would be somewhere in the middle based on the situation. Where would you rate yourself, or if you're doing it with somebody else, where would you rate them? Conscientiousness is generally understood to be a person's desire to do what's right, to do what's expected of them, get their work done, a sense of duty. A 0 would be having none of that. A 10 would be extremely conscientious. Number 3, extraversion. Okay, that one's pretty self-explanatory. A 0 would be very introverted, not wanting to be around people. A 10 is extremely extroverted. Agreeableness. Agreeableness would be defined as a personality trait that describes a person's ability to put others' needs before their own. Not debating, not trying to point out the other person is wrong. Going with the flow and do what's best for the group. A 0 would be always demanding your own way, pointing out flaws in the other person's argument, contradicting them, that sort of thing. A 10 would be extremely agreeable. And again, you can see if you're too agreeable, maybe you're not standing up for your own rights, or maybe you're not helping the other person see that there's another way to look at this. And if you're not agreeable at all, obviously that's going to cause you to not have many friends, not go to many parties. But if you're low on the extraversion, then maybe you don't care anyway. So you also want to think about how these interact with each other. So if you are low on extraversion, you're very introverted, and you're very low on agreeableness, it might work out. You're disagreeable, you don't like people, you don't want to be around them, and they don't want to be around you. Neuroticism is kind of a catch-all term that has to do with negative emotions. It could be anger, anxiety, self-consciousness, irritability, emotional instability, depression. So if you are very low, let's say somebody down in this range of neuroticism, you're easygoing, well-adjusted, you solve your problems, you cope with things, you're not overly anxious, you don't have signs of depression. Now, again, if you are devoid of these emotions, that could be a problem too. It's normal to feel sad about things if something's sad. It's normal to get anxious if there's some reason to be concerned, etc. So if you're too far down here, that might be problematic. If you're too far up here, obviously, you're going to have anxiety, depression, that sort of thing. So the ideal would probably be, in my opinion, it would be somewhere around here, maybe 2 to 6, depending on the situation. Someone else might think maybe 5 to 8 is ideal, but it just depends on your life situation and what your goals are in life. So there you go. These are the 5 key personality traits. If someone tries to tell you that the Myers-Briggs is better or some other personality test because it's looking at all these other areas, if you look and you see what the other categories are on these other personality tests, you'll see they're all just different ways of saying these 5 things. If you found this interesting and you'd like to see more videos, please hit like, please subscribe, hit the bell, any or all of those 3. It really does help me. It helps the channel. This is Dr. Scott Greenaway saying take care, take it easy, and remember, psychology works.